It's about creating the most amazing life you could ever imagine. Like if you could wave a magic wand and just create the most best case fucking scenario for you in your life, what would that look like? So the first thing we do is before deep diving into your business is I just deep dive into you really hard, right? Super,
Mhm.
super hard into you. Super dive. Like we're going deep. I'm doing a lot of subconscious work, rewiring.
Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the number one podcast for you behind the scenes with real online earners. No fake gurus here. And today we have the wonderful Peter Kell with a beautiful background, putting us all to shame there. We
Right.
also have Tyler here. His background previous to this looked like a children's room, but now it looks quite acceptable. He's traveling, so you can't be too hard on him. And as you know, I'm Gabriel Ansel. And this is going to be a cool one, man. Peter Kell, I have heard about this guy from a few people actually. And I watch his YouTubes here and there, even though he did them very sporadically for a while there. Might always check in whenever he dropped a new one because he was always dropping nuggets. And I figured this is a good guy to have on here. And he just dropped a really cool product on VSLs. And I feel like we all need to learn some VSL stuff or some video stuff, even if you're running Facebook ads and you're just doing like short lead gen ads. It may not be VSL style stuff, but he's got some good video tips for you, I'm sure. So there you go.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah. It's so great to be here.
Where are
Cool,
you
man.
physically at right now? Because that background is beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm in Laguna Beach, California. I flew in from Dubai. I've been traveling for the last like 2 years, living out of a suitcase. I sold my skincare brand about 2 years ago and just sold my cars, moved everything into storage unit and just been like traveling abroad and trying to finally like settle down. So I'm just hanging out in Laguna for the next, you know, 2 weeks until my Airbnb is up, and then I got to go find a new place to live.
Very cool.
Life could be
How,
worse,
yeah. How do you find like productivity when you're traveling like that? Are you pretty disciplined and good with yourself?
I mean, I'm very hardcore, right? I'm super hardcore with everything, right?
Yeah.
I take my high score super seriously, and I take the project super seriously, and I just say no. Like we took a trip through Milan where we did a lot of shopping, and took a train to Paris, and I was in Paris for 3 days, did not see one thing, right? Did not see. If you just get somewhere, like there's always something somewhere. I just cannot go out. I can't see this. I get it. There's always something. So you just gotta like eventually pull the ripcord on. You just
Yeah.
gotta like, say no, and it depends. I'm in like hardcore. We just launched a new business. We just pivoted from into this new course creation mode. So we're in like hardcore, grind mode, which is let's do it.
Awesome,
Very
man.
cool, man.
I definitely want to
Uh,
dip into that. But if you don't mind, dude, how did you even get into this crazy world of online advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it started for me 11 years ago. I was a D student skateboarder, and then I realized my dreams of, doing what I loved, being a skateboarder, was going to have me sleeping on my friends' floors for the next rest of my life. So I gave up on the dream, and just moved into my parents' basement in the middle of the woods and butt fuck middle of nowhere. Place called Lake Arrowhead. It was 45 minutes away from the closest bar with any girls. My girl
Wow.
left me for some other dude. Like I was just trapped in this basement in the middle of nowhere. My car didn't work. And I couldn't even get a job there. I'd be stuck there forever. Right. So I just like sunk into this really deep depression because I was 21 years old. And I just felt like this important part of my life was being sucked away and my
Mm.
soul was just being evaporated. And
Now you know why his VSLs converted. Like,
yeah.
it was painful. This is the real thing. It was really painful. And my dad, thankfully, he had this small website design company. And he saw this kind of pain that we was in. And he was like addicted to buying those like Warrior Forum courses,
uh,
how to make money for $7. He was like the guy buying those, right?
yeah.
He would like send them to me in the basement and like have me like go through these things. And one day, like I just come across this sales page, right? For like an MLM. I don't know. He sent it to me and it was like, hey man, do you feel like a loser? You live in your parents' basement and wish you could, make money on a laptop with your feet in the sand, living in the Caribbean, dating hot Swedish models, making $50,000 every 2 weeks, being a millionaire. I was like, fuck yeah. And it was more than just that though, because it was like, fuck yes. Because the first one part of my 20s were so miserably painful that I realized like, if I can make this happen and become the young supercar guy by the time I was 27, that would make it worth it. I'm okay with sacrificing my 20s for fucking rich Pete in my later 20s.
Yeah.
Down for that, right? So that started the
Honestly, that's a good perspective to look at it, man. I feel like some people sometimes they just don't put enough into it.
no, they really don't. And a lot of the times, like guys my age today, the guys who are a little bit behind, they all focused on having like as much fun as they could have when they were in their 20s, right? Versus like
Mhm.
sacrificing the 20s, taking Adderall and reading books all day at the library, and then just starting companies. I failed 7 companies in a row until I finally learned the lesson, which is getting your ass in the right seat on the right bus. That was the lesson. That was the first big lesson that really, that was like set 4 years of failed companies just to figure that one thing out.
Yeah. Well, so what was that like? Did you start working with someone? Was it something you figured out? What was the transition?
Yeah, well, it was just like, the biggest mistake I'm making in business is actually starting my own business. Believe it or not, actually, I'm terrible at this whole thing and I don't have any money. And you get more clear on the skill set you need to learn to transform your life. And for me, that became media buying was it, right? I liked affiliate marketing, but I didn't have a credit card or any money to spend. So I couldn't even practice the game. I couldn't even play the game. So I
Mhm.
finally pivoted to this idea to like, I need to get a job as a media buyer. Who can I work with? Who can give me a credit card and I can start playing the game? So I called up like a local affiliate network in Las Vegas where I was living and he gave me a job. And that was the first. I was in the right seat in like a more of a mediocre bus. It wasn't the right
Yeah,
kind of bus, but I was finally able to play the game by spending money and like that was the Kickstarter.
That's
that's
awesome.
very cool. Do you
Yeah.
remember what your first campaign was that just like you're like, "Oh, wow, I'm on to something."
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget it. I mean, this was the first real day. It was my boss was pissed at me, right? Because I had been 2 months losing money, right? Trying
Yeah.
to figure shit out, can't get it to work. I'm advertising on this website called redirect.com, this like native email, tool by this guy named Scott Richter. And my boss knew the owner. So he calls him up. He's like, hey man, my fucking media buyer keeps losing all this money on your stupid ad platform. How do we make money off this? And he goes, hold on for a second. And then he comes back. He's like, hey, dude, there's this guy spending like $700 a day doing this like nootropic campaign, selling brain supplements. Here's his landing page. Here's his ad. Try upload. And I upload this
Amazing.
campaign and it works. I couldn't believe it. It just started working. And that was the second lesson that I learned was, oh my God, I know nothing swiping. I need to do nothing but swiping. And that's all I'm doing
Yeah,
from now on is like swipe advertorials and sales pages and ads and everything.
yeah.
That was my first campaign. Yeah.
Wow.
Scott Richter, that's such a throwback name, man.
Such a throwback name.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Is he
Rip and
still in the
run.
game?
R&D. Love it.
Has anyone heard from Scott in a few years? Because I certainly haven't. I bet you he's still doing stuff though.
He's doing gambling. He's in the
Is
gambling.
he?
Yeah, organic gambling. I think he has a gambling app now. He's got a big YouTube channel where he's gambling live, spending a lot of money. Did you guys ever see that video of him on like date night or whatever of him getting like the email spammer? There's this news story that came out on him where they're interviewing him. He's kind of trolling and he's just talking about how like, men need their Viagra pills and he's like giving a duty by sending 10 bazillion emails out of Viagra pills to everybody.
No, I
Oh,
never
it's
saw
so
that.
hilarious. It's like
Sounds like the Scott I know.
it's so legit. It's so funny, but it's what a legendary character.
Too funny, man. What was the biggest campaign you kind of grew with your media buy skills?
Yeah. So my first VSL was really my first six-figure day. My first six-figure day came from a VSL selling foot insoles. We got into
Are you
e-commerce.
serious? Foot insoles?
Foot insoles. Yeah.
Jesus.
That
The
was my
pressure
first.
point ones, right?
Yeah, with the little buttons on the bottom to like help you
Yeah.
hit your acupuncture points or whatever, relieve back pain. And no, this was like because we started getting into rewriting advertorials, and then one day
Yeah.
I saw this like slideshow video, and I was like, I wonder if I can just put my advertorial into a slideshow kind of format, and that would kind of work. And my CPMS dropped, and the ROI went up a little bit, and I was like, holy shit, I think this is a VSL, right? I think that's what it is. Like, we're running it directly as the ad. There's no like click. It's just video and Facebook. And it started out really short. Like I was just testing stuff. I was like this, they didn't work very well at the beginning. And then I had another media buyer friend named Dennis, and we would just constantly make variation after variation until finally the ROI really started picking up a lot. And we started scaling pretty hardcore because I had my mentors by then who taught me how to scale like nuclear really easy. And they had an unlimited budget. The big thing happened when one day we spent 72 grand on Facebook and did $70,000 in affiliate sales. So I had just lost $2,000 that day, but there's money flying around everywhere like crazy, you
Yeah.
know? So I was like, holy fucking shit. If I could just boost the ROI by 10% on this stupid campaign, we will go absolutely nuclear. That is Lambo money. I am 27. It's Lambo time. That was the idea. Like, who do I know that knows VSLs? And I'm like, oh my God, John Benson. This is the guy who invented the VSLs. I studied him years before. I go on his website. He's like, oh, taking one new student. I'm like, oh my God, like sign me up. So I get on a call with John Benson. He looks at my script and he looks back at me and then he looks back at the script and he just yells at me. He doesn't write anything, but he's just like, bro, do this, quick with that, do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I go back and I rewrite it and the campaign just fucking takes off. Right.
Wow.
The next weekend, we passed our first $100,000 revenue day. The weekend after that, we spent 140 grand on Facebook and did $200,000 in affiliate sales. Just
That's a
selling
solid day.
in
I
one
love it,
day,
man.
right? It was, and then it was the next day was like another mid six-figure day, right? And I became absolutely obsessed with VSL after that, like
I can imagine.
because you're just like 80-20 rule of the 80-20 with media buying. If you just upload a good video, it works, right? There is no media buying when the ad is good, right? You just fucking scale it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's still the case today, right?
It's still the case today. So I became obsessed with just how do I, this is the skill I have to master. This was like 6.5, 7 years ago, by the way. This
Wow.
was a long time ago, guys. So I have been doing VSLs every single day since then, right? I called back John Benson. I was like, yo, bro, we need to keep working together. This is really profitable. We partnered for the next year. And for the next 8 months, we do all these campaigns together. He hones my skills that I learned all these tips and tricks and secrets and get clarity on exactly how to do the game. Eventually, we got sick of like people ripping our VSLs. Like after about a year, we had a flood of people ripping our stuff. By now, all the affiliates knew we would just make a video and run it out, right? I
Yeah.
had a media buying house, so I had 4 media buyers, 4 video editors, a full-time copywriter in Benson, right? And
Wow.
all we did was make VSLs for Facebook ads as an affiliate. And we
Yeah.
ran Matrix Network. We ran through Jumbleberry. We ran through, we didn't do much Giddy Up, but we did a lot of the Verb offers. I mean, we ran through all the e-com affiliate products until eventually we just kind of ran out of them. And then we decided to pivot to doing exclusive offers. We were looking around for private deals so that affiliates wouldn't rip us. Eventually we practiced skincare campaign. We blow it up. The guy's like, no, we want to take the Facebook account back. So he tells us to shut it down, even though we're doing like 30 grand a day. So we're like, fuck it, let's start a skincare brand, right? So that was, suddenly we moved from affiliate to brand owner. And I was like, if I'm going to do a brand, I'm going to do this legit. If I'm going to do a full VSL, because by now I'd always wanted to do my first full on high production VSL with like a full fucking camera setup crew, right?
Yeah.
Real dermatologist. So like I couldn't have been more excited. This was like one of my most excited moments of like, finally, we're going to pull the trigger. I found a business partner who knew how to do fulfillment and manufacturing and all that stuff. So we could get the products made that we wanted to get made. Emailed every dermatologist in the city we were working in, shot the VSL, put it together. 2 months later, the products were delivered, launched that thing, and it was fucking nuclear, right?
Right out the gate?
Right out of the gate, bro. Because we were
Wow.
doing 30 grand a day on slideshow videos, right?
Yeah.
So we did full video shoot, professional thing. We had the angle down. We were doing 100 grand a day almost instantly.
Wow.
Almost instantly. We did 4 million by our 3rd month.
What?
We did 100 grand a day every single day for 8 months in a row. Over 100
That's
grand,
insane.
right?
Insane.
How are the profit margins?
Bro, it was phenomenal. Like 1 month we spent 2 million and we get 4 million back, you know,
No way.
on the ads, bro.
That's
And
wild.
you 30% of that goes to costs and then kaboom, right? You'll
But,
see-
did you guys do anything with the data on the back end, or did you just kind of like let that slip by, or how did that work out?
my business partner is a killer, right? He was a killer when we were working together, and he's a rock solid guy. So he just is building a real brand, right? This is the golden hippo play when you build a portfolio of brands, and then private equity companies want to buy this because it's a bunch of different brands that are all like kind of intertwined. So
Yeah.
we built out this portfolio of skincare companies and just blaze the trail on new unique mechanisms. So if this company is about like this toxic protein, then this company is about plant-based stem cells, and this company is about topical-based prebiotics and probiotics. So it's all skincare, but it's all different niches in each one. And when
Yeah.
you find those, you can cross-sell between companies, and then also private equity companies like to purchase.
Man,
them.
I love that. That's so smart. That's awesome.
That is
Yeah,
the
that's
play
genius.
there. Yeah. So
Mind,
40
So-
million for 12 months. That's
Insane.
insane. That was it.
you guys sold that?
Yeah. And then I sold that, and then I sold my stake in the whole thing and went traveling around the world. That was it.
Who'd you guys sell it to, if you don't mind me asking?
I sold it to my business partner. We kind of had an internal little bit dispute on the directions that we wanted to go on.
Yeah.
And that kind of like made me not as inspired. And then that's just what happened. We
Yeah.
ended up coming in with a deal and like just splitting ways and letting him take the whole thing.
Amazing. He's still running to this day?
It's still cranking to this day, bro. I mean, it's a lesson for me because I mean the guy definitely made out with a better move. Like I had I had a big fucking stack of cash, right? Drop on my desk, which was pretty dope. This guy had a big exit in his past. So most of these deals typically aren't able to happen between founders. That's why you want to get a rich business partner so that deals like this could happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that brand, I'm pretty sure did at least, back to back to back, mid 8 figures, right? So that any company doing back to back to back mid 8 figures is worth a whole lot. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
Interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I want to touch on quick is like, I don't know if you caught on to it, but you always seem to find someone who knows more than you in the current point that you're stuck in your career, which is such a huge thing. And I don't know if people heard that or got onto that, but I think that's really valuable to point out, man. And if you could elaborate more on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, like if the best thing you could ever ask for if you're trying to manifest something is a business partner who's also a mentor, right? I'm always looking for somebody who's better than me that wants to work with me,
Yeah.
right? That's the whole thing. Like typically, like today, the guy better have like jets or a 9-figure exit or something like that. I mean, you have to work with someone who's leveling up. I'm 32 years old. I cannot not have a mentor in my life. For sure.
That's
Someone who's
amazing.
trying to level me up and just looks at me and just yells at me, like just has clear, obvious wisdom on which way I should go and just knows how to just slap me in the face, right? That's like, why would you not want something? That's how I like to grow up, right? And it's hard to
Yeah.
find, but so valuable.
Is that why you started working with Wes Watson?
100%. Yeah. Wes is a
Dude, I
legend.
love that guy. Love
Yeah.
that fucking guy.
So I just
So-
hired him as I was like, this guy's crushing it. I hired him as my fitness stuff. I transferred a lot of my fitness stuff. And then he was doing business coaching, right? He was doing
Yeah.
business coaching. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll hire this guy. Like, I don't know what he's going to tell me, right? The guy
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I had just finished up my Mind Valley streak. So I ended up partnering with Mind Valley and like blazing the whole trail with them on VSLs,
Yeah.
which is really cool. I had an interesting experience because we made 32 VSLs last year for Mind Valley, right? Like full on 30-minute long productions for this company, who I think is one of the coolest companies in the world. And I was lucky enough one day to have one of them become the #1 video on VidTal for videos longer than 10 minutes. Our VSL became the best VSL in the world. I think it might still be the best in the world right now.
Which product was that?
It's the Silva Ultramind, Jose Silva Ultramind by Mind Valley.
I bought that.
Did you buy that?
Yeah, yeah. I totally bought that. I'm like, this is amazing. How do I not buy this?
Thanks, bro. I've been working hard to figure out how to do that shit.
Well, wasn't like his assistant or whatever? She won all these contests.
Ellen Hansel won all these lottery tickets.
That's it, man. I literally sent that to all my media buyers. I'm like, you guys got to watch this. This is unreal.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that one worked real well. Yeah. So that was really cool, right? And I had this cool moment. It was actually really funny. I was watching the Machine Gun Kelly documentary, and there's this moment where his album becomes #1 in the world. And I was like, man, that used to be my goal forever. I always wanted to have the #1 VSL in the world. I mean, all I do is VSLs. I can't do VSLs all day long and not be the best in the world. What a waste of my fucking what am I doing?
Yeah, no doubt.
And then literally by the end of that thought, I get a text from the VidTal team. Yo, your VSL is #1 in the world right now.
Wow.
That's so
Like,
amazing.
oh my God.
That's
You made
insane.
it.
Like literally the same thing. Yeah, it was really a really fun experience. But something else happened, right? Very shortly after that, I see this quote. And it was something around the lines of like, yo, the master is not the one who's the best in the world. Like the master is the one who creates the most masters. And I was like, oh God damn.
Yeah. Start over again.
I think there's another level to this whole thing. I want to go to another level, right? Which was funny because my mentor, Jason A, he's the guru killer. He's anti-guru. And he told me
Yes,
my
he
whole
is.
life, never make a course ever. The best in the world. That's all he said, was to be the best in the world. So when I heard this quote, I was like, I had all this conflict, right? I don't know what to do. Because the saying is when the ROI goes down, the guru course goes up, right? What's your campaign? That's when you make a course, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So I called up Jason and I was like, dude, I think I want to make a course. This campaign's like #1 in the world. And I want to like help other people experience like the life-changing magic of VSLs. And he's like, yeah, bro, do it. I don't know why you don't have a course already. I'm like, he just like backpedaled on me. Oh my God.
After years of indoctrination.
After years, right? Years. I just saw a video actually the other day of me. I was going through some old photos for this website we're building out, and I see this video. It's my first $100,000 a day. I'm refreshing my campaign. I just posted it on my YouTube channel at Peter Kell. It's my first reaction. I'm like, 100K a day, Cloud! Oh my God, don't even have a fucking guru course. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and anyway, so that was super funny. And so that was
So now you have a course.
So now I wrapped it up to Wes. I'm like, okay, let me talk to Wes. Wes yells at me, you got to do coaching. I'm like, okay, I do. I reach out on my Instagram. Anyone want to do coaching? I make it like 20 grand for 4 phone calls because I'm like kind of introverted. I don't really like talking to people very
Yeah.
much. So it's like this battle. And then I sell 28 hours in 2 days. People trying to get coaching from me because I built up this reputation.
Wow. Yeah.
So I paused the coaching. I'm like, I need to stop this. Too many people, right? I talked to everybody and I'm like, okay, I got to find a way to like automate one-on-one coaching. I think I need like a
Mhm.
program. Wes is really cool because you get on one call with him and he brings you up to speed on the system and then he does group coaching with you. Right.
No,
Like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, so I think I just need to like make an 8-hour training program on VSLs to get someone up to speed. And then I do what's called the greatest campaign in your life group coaching calls, right? The business elite mastery, which is basically where now that you're up to speed, I get on a weekly group call with everybody and we help everybody make the biggest fucking campaigns of their entire life. That's kind of the goal. So I'm
Mhm.
looking at what you got going on and I'm like, do this, do this, do that, scale this, do this. Show me your scripts, show me everything. Everybody's working together. Fucking cool, badass community.
dude, I love it, man. What kind of people do you have on there?
Bro, I got there's an 8-figure guy named Todd Lamb who's flying around helicopters, just gave me a testimonial.
Todd Lamb's one of our good friends, man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like, bro, your
awesome.
life changes when you got a VSL making 40 million a year. I'm flying helicopters over Canadian glaciers, like landing on
Yeah.
falls. He's like, sign up to Peter's course, like.
That's on, dude. Todd was on this podcast before, actually.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
Todd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's a local boy to me.
So he's in there learning, trying to take it to the next level. There's the levels out here are insane. Even for guys crushing #1 ClickBank, the next level after your #1 ClickBank is like, I just saw this other ad by Steve Harvey. I don't know if you saw, but Steve Harvey partnered with one of these new Golden Hippo companies, and they have this monster VSL that just came out. And there's so many huge 8-9-figure plays you can take in the e-com world. And I'm here to like inspire people to like show them how to get authority figures, show them how to get the script, show them how to do the production. Fucking keep the faith while it's going because it's easy for the faiths to dip and get some bullshit
Oh no,
in the head. So it's like I'm there to keep you up, right? Take you to the fucking end. That's what we do here.
dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's gonna be a cool experience for you too, just to see like what everyone's doing, kind of get insights on their campaigns and their businesses as a whole.
Now, 2 days ago, I had this guy. He's like, I just launched for VSL. He's like, I'm selling like a $11,000 like coaching program. It's like we spent $1,500 and did $30,000 in sales. Is that good?
Amazing.
Does he have the whole thing automated, or is it like
Yeah, it's an automated VSL going to book a call.
That's wild.
And I'm just thinking that I'm like, he's a little like distracted. He's like spending $300 a day. So this is like spread out over time. I'm like, bro, scale the fucking campaign, dude.
Right.
#1 rule.
You know what I mean? He's like spending too
throw the
little,
house at it.
like in his own head about this king. I'm like, dude, you guys fucking. He told me, he's like, I just want to get back to like 10 million a year, which is what I used to have before everything collapsed. I was like, fuck 10 million a year. We're not in this for fucking getting back to who we used to be. We're here to make our old self look like we're running lemonade stands. Okay. Double the fucking high score. Get the fuck out of this group, right? 20 million is what you're going for.
Man, when I'm having a
Amazing.
bad day, I'm calling you.
There we go. Group coaching program, man. I don't know. It's fun. I'm like,
I love it. That's awesome.
I had to read a lot of positivity books in my parents' basement, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So is that your focus right now? It's going all in on the VSL side of things?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm focused on organic also. So I'm doing a lot more YouTube. My YouTube there's a lot more content coming out. I'm putting out a new TV show called the VSL Flow Show, where I help you break down the easiest ways, all the biggest campaigns on the internet, right? I'm spying for you and breaking down the biggest VSLs so that it's so easy for you to reverse engineer this thing, right?
Yeah.
You can sit down, you can see exactly how it's done. You see the shot list. You just get like this action plan, right? Like, this is exactly what I need to do. to make a campaign just like this that has the potential to be the biggest campaign I've ever had. Because that's all you can really ask for is the potential, because you can't really control anything else.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Without giving away too much of your course, man, would you mind dropping some nuggets on all the listeners?
Yeah, so it's a full-on breakdown. I mean, the first thing that we do, because it's not really about VSLs, right? It's about creating the most amazing life you could ever imagine. Like if you could wave a magic wand and just create the most best case fucking scenario for you in your life, what would that look like? So the first thing we do is before deep diving into your business is I just deep dive into you really hard, right? Super,
Mhm.
super hard into you. Super dive. Like we're going deep. I'm doing a lot of subconscious work, rewiring. I learned this manifestation technique by Neville Goddard. So one of the things we do is we get super clear about this life. And then I walk you through a visualization exercise where, I take you into this house and all your friends are inside this house and you have the best fucking news to share for them. You're so excited to share and everyone's just waiting for you. And you walk in the house, everyone's cheering. They're so proud of you. And like essentially, you tell them the greatest thing that's ever happened in your whole business, right? You're visualizing the best day of your entire business life, right? If you could wrap 30 years of your business experience into the highlight best day of your life. Maybe it's when the money landed, right? Probably when the money landed, right? It's probably fucking
Yeah.
when the hit the account, right? For whatever happened, right? And you're going to share your family all the shit that happened. And you're going to go talk to them about all the things you're going to do for them and all the things you're going to do in general. And they're super proud of you. So I walk you through a really emotional, that is super important, right? It's so important. So that image needs to be ingrained deep into your subconscious mind to plant the seeds, because if you want to change the fruits, you got to change the roots and we got to plant those roots. You got to plant that seed. One of my favorite quotes is action is the bridge between your inner world and your outer world. So all hitting the gas does and all taking action does is just like watering a plant. It's just going to like grow
Yeah.
whatever you planted. So step one, we plant dope shit, right? Plant dope shit.
Yeah.
That's step one, right? And then we go into like the VSL strategy because like if you're doing affiliates, there's no point of going hardcore in VSLs if you're selling somebody else's stuff, right? Because you can just get ripped off. There's no point of doing this if you're a drop shipper and you're selling shitty stuff that you don't have the basic, 3PL, get your product shipped in 3 to 4 days kind of
Yeah.
stuff experience. And so we make sure you're playing the right game because most guys aren't even right in the right game, right? They're not even in the right game. So we make sure we get the right seat and the right bus. I talk about, like how to turn around companies, which is the same game I did with Mind Valley, because you can either build a brand and sell it, or you can come in for equity and blow it up, get the equity, and there you go, exit.
Awesome.
I
Dude, I
also
love teaching people about exits and how to really capitalize on the skill set. I think a lot of times people take our skill set for granted, especially like us,
Yeah.
and we don't realize how we impact businesses.
Oh my God. It's a greatest skill set on the planet. Affiliates have a greatest skill set. Any media buyers have a greatest skill set on the planet. It's phenomenal. Copywriters can't touch media buyers.
Hmm.
Copywriters can't touch media buyers. None of my copywriters, like, and as much as I love everybody, right? They're world class. They don't touch the media buyers because they just don't have the like data experience of looking at the data, campaigns negative, campaigns positive, right? Because one of the big parts of VSLs is like going into the data, looking at the variation. This variation worked. That variation's got a better hook and cost per 3-second view, like optimizing and creating the campaign that's going to really scale. They don't have that as much just because they're looking at Word documents all day long. So buyers really have a really big advantage because it's you're creating a campaign. Everything we do is not even about building a business, it's about making a campaign right?
Mhm.
Every decision revolves around the fucking Facebook campaign, right?
That's it. That's it.
That's it, right? Doesn't it?
That's funny.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Another thing, like our skill set, what's so interesting about it, it's like, people will hesitate over starting a new business. I mean, everyone, not just only in our world. I feel like when you get into the affiliate world, you start a new business almost every fucking week because one week it's auto, the next week it's roofing, and so on, right? And then you kind of dial down, you get good at a few, and you kind of focus on those. But like our ability is to start something new is just like this, and the amount of successful repeats we have is similar. And I feel like that's super undervalued too, especially when you take the skills and you apply it to like, companies that we kind of work with. We try to find, like, we try to take our skill set and apply it where no one's even looking, no one's even focused on it, where there's really no competition. Man, it's a lot of fun doing that, man, because you can really raise some eyebrows. But overall, again, like we're just so undervalued at what we do, or at least the way we approach it mentally, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the guys that came in knowing that they weren't going to do this particular thing forever. So most guys were just like, they kind of came in like I was going to pivot one day, but they just never did.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we're here to like get them in the right fucking seat and get them pointed in the right direction, right bus, right seat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's after that? So you
That's a lot of stuff. I mean, that's fucking like just not even module two, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so foundational, right? Because already you're helping them play in a different game where they're not worried about people ripping off their stuff and running with it.
Yeah. 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 One of the really interesting opportunities actually is doing VSLs for crypto companies right now.
Interesting.
I sold a documentary for a company called Nillion.com and like for $150,000, 125K in tokens, right? In straight tokens, right? So I just got this football flying through the air that could fucking go nowhere, right? Or it could be 100x on the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
and like these crypto companies have no idea how to like communicate what they got going on. So if you can
Yeah.
come and help make them a video that is a tool for the community to share to each other because they can't even talk about what this thing is. So you make a video for the community and everybody shares it. Valuable stuff for these companies.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You holding or you selling?
That one, well, that one I'm actually forced to hold. Yeah. So that one's drift
Oh,
fed
gotcha.
over the course of the next 3 years. Yeah.
Too
Praying
funny.
for you. Praying for you. Hopefully it
We'll
goes
see.
up.
We'll see. I've
Yeah.
had so many fucking close calls in crypto where it was so close to being amazingly successful. Unfortunately, it's taken my millionaire status twice from me. So it's
Yeah.
Well,
Going too
I mean,
hard. Too hard.
trying to get stuff from it. It keeps getting me though. Yeah, maybe I should stick to VSL. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
do
funny.
both.
That's something we spend time talking about. The last podcast we had before this last week was with a realtor I use out in Texas, and he's awesome. He's done like over 10 billion in transactions, probably has like $400 million of listings on the market now. And we were talking about like real estate and kind of what he's seeing and the trends and stuff. I think it's very important to like be diversified.
I like it. I mean, yeah, 100%. Cool to be diversified. Cool. Like this. Take swings, bro. I mean, I'm a jet guy stuck in like a guy without a jet's body, right?
Yeah.
Soon enough, my friend.
So
I'm
we're
sure.
just start working on fixing that, right? We're just gonna fix that.
Yeah.
I'd love to touch on mindset a little bit, man. Did you always have a super solid mindset, or were there like things in your life that kind of really impact that and to help you take that to another level?
Okay, yeah, mindset. I definitely read a lot of books on mindset. I didn't go to college, so when I finally found the business book section in Adderall, I definitely went hardcore into it. I'm super into manifestation. That's what really worked for me at the end of the day. I read like 200 books and I drove 7 companies into the ground. And then I read a book called Conversations with God.
Mm.
And then suddenly my life pivoted, right? It was the last book I read before my life took off. So, and it was spirituality. It wasn't marketing. It wasn't copywriting. It wasn't sales or any of that stuff. Even subconscious mind stuff. It was just maybe the words and the thoughts I'm having are influencing my reality way more than I think it actually is. That's what it's all about, right? It's just like maybe I'm in control way more than I think I am. And one of the key pieces about this is like I have to be in this state of positivity to attract positivity
Hmm.
and stokedness, right? So there's a really good book called Happy for No Reason. I'm like, okay, if I have to be happy more often, I'm going to go practice. I need to study happiness, right? If this is like going to help me manifest shit. So that was a really big book for just raising like your baseline with happiness. No, I mean, optimism. I don't know. I'm a leader now. I got a big team. So I definitely had to work my ass off on mindset and being stoked. But things are also working really well right now. So it's easy to be stoked when things are working well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, everyone's a great
It's when you're down and out that's tough.
Yeah, when you're down and out, it's tough. You got to keep the faith, man. Even when shit is on fire on the outside, you have to find a way to just believe that something amazing is about to happen to you. Actually, I'll tell you a story. I got a cool story for you guys. This happened to me. I mean, not like maybe 3 years ago, my business was getting screwed for 5 or 6 months. I was in a 5 or 6 months losing streak. I was so defeated because everything I was trying was losing money and everything. I was just getting worse and worse and worse at like even trying to make it work, right? And my laundry was piling up, but even worse than all of that stuff was my inner fire had kind of gone out, right? I had lost this ability and this drive, and I was so frustrated because I used to be so on fire and so crushing it. And one day I was looking at this graph. One of my mentors told me, if you want to make more money, just track how much money you make every single day, right? So I was looking at this graph for the past 4 years. Every day for the past 4 years, I put on this graph how much money I made. And I was looking at this thing and I was like, bro, I've been here before. You know what I mean? This isn't the first time I've had a 5 to 6 month losing streak, right? I had one back here and I had one back here and I had one back there. And then I would go on this big 5-month winning streak and then a huge winning streak and a huge winning streak. And I was like, fucking Christ, I wish I could just get back. I remember opening up my journal, just typing in like, I wish I could just figure out what the hell I was saying, like right before life exploded in all those moments. Cause then I could just like explode it again, right? I could like, that's the game plan. I could explode it again. And then it just fucking hits me. Oh my God, my journals, right? I happen to be journaling. I'm a huge journal. I journal like 200 entries a year for the past 7 years. I got like this
Wow.
massive log of journal entries. And I'm like, oh my God, I can literally go back to 2 weeks before life exploded each 3 times and see what I was thinking about. So I go back and I just discover the most amazing like vibe every single time in each of the journals. Right before my life was about to take off to the next level, there was this constant feeling like something amazing was about to happen.
Hmm.
Right? Like it was like the winds of fucking change are here. I don't care what's going on around me, what's going on outside me. Something amazing is about to happen. Something's happening. There's like this feeling in the air, in the journals, even though it'd been sucking for 4 months, right?
Yep.
And then sure enough, the thing would explode. Literally the words in big old highlighted yellow letters was something amazing is about to happen was written in one of the documents right before it exploded. So I'm thinking to myself, man, it looks to me like the more I start to feel like something amazing is about to happen to me, the more amazing things start to happen. I was like, holy shit, I need to put this to the test. I need to give this like a swing, right? This is when our affiliate campaigns had been starting to die from other affiliates ripping us. And I think we just had this like the skincare brand go down, not that the affiliate one go down. So I take this phrase and I hang it in my shower. Something amazing is about to happen. And I put it in my living room. And I put it on a notepad and I put it on a t-shirt and I make it the sub logo to my company. So everywhere I go, I see this phrase that says something amazing is about to happen. And you'll fucking never guess what happened, guys.
Something amazing.
Something fucking amazing happened. It was like all of a sudden, like the wheels on the bus would just start falling onto the bus by themselves, right? Not only did we go on the biggest win streak of our life, which was the skincare brand that we launched. That's exactly when we launched it. We put the shit up and everything just started falling into place. The dermatologist said, yes, this came together. This happened. The fucking ROI took off. It explodes. I go on the biggest like meteoric run I had ever gone on, which was that fucking 0 to 40 million at 12-month skincare brand. And I end up selling the brand, right? But not only that, but like just fucking good things would happen to me. We like not in the business world. Like I would just start to attract other events that would just be exciting. And I remember selling the brand and I remember selling my cars, sell the Lambo, sell the Range Rover. I'm taking everything out of my house and I go back to my shower. And by now I was like this diehard fan of like this phrase, right? Because I'd seen it every day. Yeah. Something amazing is about to happen. And I'm grabbing this down and I'm starting to fucking like cry just looking at this, knowing how much it affected my life. And I was like, I don't want to leave this behind. Like I am taking this with me. So I tattooed it on my arm. It's something amazing. It stands for something amazing is about to happen. So I take it with me everywhere I go.
I love it.
Dude, I love that. That's awesome.
That's so fucking cool, man.
Right?
Oh,
what a great conversation starter too.
Yeah.
Tattoo right there on your arm. That's dope, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, we got that one. And then we got God's plan over here on the right. So this is all about like, the best case scenario is beyond something you could ever imagine, right? It's like all your goals you could ever set are limited by your own imagination, right? That's only 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10 is this universal higher power plan for you that you couldn't even picture, right? You can't even set goals for this shit, right? You just have to tune in to feeling amazing, which is the state that is going to get you in order to get there. So
I love it.
That's so really cool, man. I'm assuming that you have some crazy morning routine to get your day and your head primed and ready to go.
I use Notion. So I have a Notion morning routine button, right? That sets me up and I just have to answer a couple questions. Like, what am I excited about? What do I have to do to attract more love and abundance into my life? Which is thank the universe for all the love and abundance that it's sending me into my life. I just like kind of go through stuff like that. And then I have my visions, I have my values there. And then I have my 5-year kind of goals and then my 1-year goals and my shorter kind of milestones that I'm working on. So I'm able to see this big vision board. I'm just scrolling through because I'm traveling so much. I'm a huge vision board fan, but I fucking can't travel with all my vision boards too much. Yeah. Right? So I just have this built out in my Notion. So I just go through and answer these questions. And I just work on like, what's the one task or the most important task that's going to move the needle? That's kind of, those are the main pieces of it.
What is Notion?
Notion is kind of like the new Evernote. It's
okay.
place for writers. It's really amazing. I got hooked into something because at Mind Valley, they have this big Airtable. They use Airtable to manage everything. And I was super overwhelmed one day. And it's all like data. It's like a big ass Excel spreadsheet, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a writer, I'm a creative dude. So Excel doesn't like link with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody introduces me to Notion. I've been on Evernote for so long, but Notion was so much cooler because it also had databases. So you could also like track and organize everything. But it became this tool. I actually bought this course called a life operating system
Mm.
for $100 a long time ago. And it's like put your whole life into Notion. And this is where I got this from. And it has because I would have all these all these apps and stuff, but I'd always fall off them.
Yeah.
Notion was the first place where everything was in one spot, right? It had my to-do list, it had my journal, it had my vision boards. I mean, it's got my business, like organizational documents in there. All my team is in there. I mean, it's a
Wow.
lot for everything to manage my entire life. My relationships are in there. So then it was just when I started to fall off it, I would never fall off my journal, right? So I'd
Yeah.
always still get back on Notion. So I would get back on the loop. So once it's like once all these tools were combined, suddenly I would actually have a life operating system I could use, right, to juggle all of it, to manage
Dude,
it.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I'm
Yeah, me
similar, man.
too.
I don't know how many projects management softwares I've used, and just like for whatever reason, they just don't stick long term.
No, and to me, I think things don't stick because you're using too many things, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because you're like, got to go the bonus and use this app because I'm going to be extra fucking driven today, right? And then
Right. Right.
and when you're off, you just don't do it, right? Like 5 years
Yeah.
later, you stop doing it. But this is like, if it's all in one spot, like you can be successful long term.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I check out Notion. Yeah, it's
Oh,
I can't remember the guy's name, August Bradley or something. It was $1,500 course called a Life Operating System. It is no joke to push your life. It is a heavy, heavy, like 4-day, all day long task to organize your entire life into a one place. But when you do, it's life changing.
that's
Yeah,
epic.
Amazing. That's very cool. I'm like taking notes this entire podcast, just all these cool fucking tips you have here, man. So thank
Yeah,
you for that.
Oh yeah, cool.
I am curious, man, as far as mentors in your life right now, what aspects of your life do you have mentors for? And if you don't mind sharing who they are and how they impact you.
Yeah, so I have Wes Watson. He's one of my coaches right now. And this guy is just the greatest creator of men I think I've ever even discovered, right? The guy was in jail for 10 years and created the most epic mindset of all time. It's just the most hardcore mindset. And he's all about, I mean, everyone looks, he's so flashy, but the world is like addicted to materialism. So he sucks them in with the flashy fucking shit. So he's got 8 fucking cars, 3 Rolls Royces, 4 Lamborghini, like all these different
Yeah.
beautiful cars, lives in this massive mansion. But he's spitting the most fire like on anyone on the planet. And he's so
Yeah.
great to learn from. And he's not to be fucked with. I have been yelled at him so many times. Like he just turns it up and just like will just shred you to bits, right? Like beat you with a baseball bat to get you doing the right thing you're supposed to be doing, right? Like that's his vibe. And I really just react to that. I react to it a lot, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Really
I
rough.
listen to his talks or I listen to his like 7-minute videos every morning on the treadmill when I'm getting my gym session going.
Hell yeah, dude, he's so solid. I have a manifestation coach. This is a woman that I meet up with once a week to just get clear on the life we're creating and make sure all internal things are aligned. Because like there could be certain things that like you want to be even more successful, but you're afraid your parents are going to ask for money or whatever. That stuff like that kind of holds you back. So she makes sure those are all in line. I met her at Burning Man and I used her to manifest my current girlfriend because I was like sick of being a bachelor and was looking for like the one. So
Yeah.
I heard it fucking works, bro. It worked. I was like, oh, let's do this for like debts and stuff and forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
so that's really cool.
How do you explain that to your girl that she's like a manifestation?
Dude, I just show her this massive list, right? The thing is like you create this container of exactly what the situation you're manifesting is going to look like. And I just created this girl on paper, right? And I fell in love with the girl on paper. You're supposed to fall in love with the container, not the person, because that way it kind of keeps your heart like correct. And then when the container becomes a person one day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Right. So that's two mentors. I'm working on a new AI project. We just bought the domain name vsl.ai. So we're working on
nice.
blazing the trail, the AI trail. I have a guy who sold a company for $500 million, who's in the AI space that we're working on this project together with. So he's like a cool Israeli that just is like, way smarter than me, which is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The model, man. Find smart people, made a lot of money, and partner with them.
Bro, that's it. You know, the guy was like, yeah, I just sold my business for $500 million. And then my friend sold his for $700 million the next month. So
Jesus.
he's like, let's
Shit.
got it. We got to get over 700, but you can't go over a billion because then a bunch of committees have to come out and like fucking, AI is a bubble, right? So you got to get in this, you got to play the bubble game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's wild. You know what's crazy, man? Like, as far as like limiting thinking, you truly are limited to like your thinking capacity. For example, you know, a lot of people are struggling. Obviously, interest rates are super high. Some housing markets have dipped, and then there's guys selling their companies for $500 million.
Yeah.
Like, opportunity exists out there. Guys are doing now. You don't fucking hear about them.
No. Yeah. No, I don't watch the news. I don't even hear any of those stories, right? I'm so out of any of those stories. All I'm thinking about is how to double my high score, right? What's
Yeah,
the best I've ever done? How do I double that, right? And play that game and then follow that yellow brick road, right? That is a sweet yellow brick road. And it's unique to all of us.
I love it, man.
Yeah. Shit. That's cool. I
Well,
think we've
dude,
covered a lot of shit here.
yeah, I think people are getting inspired after listening to this shit, especially
Yeah.
from their parents' basements. I think they'll be super inspired.
Guys, you can do it, man. If there's a will, there's a way. There's a way to make it work, right? None of the dreams that any listener has right now is like an accident, right? All of those are meant to happen. Any
No doubt.
materialistic dream, those are all fucking meant to happen. Any give back dream. I just gave my parents $250,000 in cash.
You know what? I saw that
Mhm.
video. I saw
Yeah.
part of it anyways. How was that? Like,
Oh my
for you
God.
then?
It was off the rocker, right? It was a completely off the rocker, right? My dad's jaw hit the floor for like, 5 minutes straight. Couldn't even believe it. And it was an amazing, incredible experience. And we filmed the whole documentary on it, which was amazing. And that's
That's
coming out
awesome.
pretty soon.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like you were in, like, their living room or something like that.
My living room. Yeah. This is my spot.
Your living room?
Yeah. So we brought him in because we were staying at this epic Airbnb and they're not used to bougie stuff like this. So we brought him in for a week. I was flying out with Wes Watson to Miami for a mastermind event. So we like filmed the reaction just coming into here. And then we flew back and brought this big bag of cash with us and just was like, here you go. Let's go. My mom wants to see her baby nephew a lot, or like my sister's my sister just had a baby, so she wants to go to San Francisco and see her all the time. But it's a 16-hour drive, so it's really kind of a pain in the ass. She's missing a lot of precious moments of this child's life. So we'll fix that, bro. You can
I
help
love it.
yourself or you can help others, right? So I'm
Or
like,
both.
or both. I like both, right? Plan
Yeah.
both and give back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Dude,
Dude,
that's super cool.
I love
Dude,
it.
if people wanna learn from you, if they wanna, learn more about VSLs and how to make ones that actually make money and convert, and honestly, man, it's kinda cool how you really help them shape their business, because I think a lot of people start with a good idea, but, like, the ability to expand that could add multiples to that. So that's awesome that you guys do that, or that you do that. But if they wanna learn more about it, how do they find out about it?
Yeah. So you can go to peterkel.com and or you can just check out our YouTube channel, at Peter Kell. And it's all about following this mission of double the most amount of money you've ever made in a month. I've been doing this, and VSLs have been the chosen tool. It's not a shiny object syndrome. It is required. You have to make videos for your business that are profitable day one on Facebook and YouTube advertising. And there's no better place on the planet to learn how to do that than the VSL Masterclass in the Elite Business Coaching Program, which is where I help you personally make the biggest campaign of your life. And when you're in a community of guys we're all committed to do that. So it's no joke. It's not an inexpensive thing, right? It's super expensive, but for guys spending 30 grand a month on ads, it's a complete no brainer, right? It's a no brainer community to be involved with. So we're also having the VSL Flow Show where I help anybody who's not there yet learn how to make videos to get themselves up to speed so that one day they can join and one day they can be on board. So everybody, there's a way for everyone to get leveled up.
I
But yeah,
love it.
Come check it out.
That's very cool, man. Awesome, man. Appreciate your time, man. It's been a fun little session here. So thanks for everyone listening today. For everyone watching, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for everyone listening, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. It's a lot to say. I generally fuck it up.
Well, dude, thanks for being on, bro. We really appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for having me. That was out of nowhere. So you guys are the best.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Really appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely.
Later.
There you guys.